When we look at an airplane, some plane has 2 engines, some plane has 4 engines. This is very interesting because even though it looks simple from the outside, there are actually many big factors behind it, such as engineering, safety rules, economics, and technology. First, let's look at the basic idea. A plane needs thrust to fly. This thrust is provided by the engines. As the weight of the plane increases, and as it travels farther, the thrust required also increases. So engineers have to decide, is 2 engines right for this plane, or do we need 4? In the past, jet engines were not as powerful as they are today. In the 1960s and 1970s, when large aircraft were being built for long-haul flights, it was not possible to get the required power with 2 engines. So engineers started adding 4 engines. Aircraft like the Boeing 747 fall into this category. This plane is also known as the Queen of the Skies. It is an iconic aircraft that has transported millions of passengers for many years. Also, the Airbus A380 is the largest passenger plane in the world. It also has 4 engines. The main idea when designing such an aircraft was maximum capacity, long distance, reliability. But now technology has changed. Today, the way engines are designed, materials, fuel systems, aerodynamics, all of these are very advanced. Therefore, even though there are 2 engines, it is possible to obtain the same or even more power as the previous 4 engines. For example, the Boeing 777 has 2 engines, but it is an aircraft that is used to make the longest flights in the world. Also, the Airbus A350 is a modern aircraft that combines fuel efficiency and long-range capability. Now let's look at the main differences between 2 and 4 engines in detail. The first is fuel efficiency. A plane with 4 engines uses a lot of fuel. A plane with 2 engines saves fuel comparatively. Fuel is the biggest expense for an airline. That's why airlines prefer to use planes with 2 engines. The second is maintenance. Having 4 engines means having 4 engines to maintain. Inspections, repairs, spare parts, all of these things double. That's why maintenance costs are very high. A plane with 2 engines takes advantage of this. The third is weight and drag. When the number of engines increases, the weight of the plane increases. Then the aerodynamic drag also increases. That has a negative effect on fuel efficiency. But planes with 4 engines also have important advantages. One is redundancy. Imagine that an engine fails. A plane with 4 engines has 3 more engines. That's why the safety margin is higher. This was essential for long-distance ocean flights in the past. Here we have an important concept, which is ETOPS. This set of rules determines how far twin-engine planes can fly from an emergency landing airport. In the past, the ETOPS limit was low. Therefore, a plane with 2 engines was not allowed to fly long distances in the middle of the ocean. Therefore, airlines were forced to use aircraft with 4 engines. But today there are high certifications like ETOPS 180, ETOPS 300. That means a twin-engine plane can fly for 3 to 5 hours without an emergency airport. Therefore, planes with 2 engines are now common for long-haul flights. Another interesting point is economics. If an airline wants to increase its profit, it needs to reduce costs. A plane with 2 engines saves fuel, has low maintenance, and is simple to operate. Therefore, airlines often choose modern twin-engine aircraft. That is why today, most new aircraft have 2 engines. Some aircraft with 4 engines are gradually retiring. For example, aircraft like the Boeing 747 and Airbus A380 are still in use today, but they are being replaced by many twin-engine aircraft. But it is not possible to say that 4 engines will disappear completely in the future. They will still be useful for cargo transport, special missions, and high-capacity routes. Finally, to put it simply, 4 engines were used in the past due to technology limitations and safety reasons. Today, as engines have become more powerful, rules have changed, and efficiency has become more important, planes with 2 engines dominate. So the next time you see a plane, you can guess its technology level by looking at the number of engines on it.